Good evening.
Hey, good evening, sir. We got some work ahead of us this evening. We're delving into something old, something new, I guess. Right? Whatever. As we approach, let's see, for those of you just joining us, the story so far for our friends out there in TV land, we have completed the Seven Pines battle, which was the two-turn affair, and as we move forward to the other seven, the 7 days battle. Tonight we're going to be tackling the small set piece battle of Gaines Mill. So we're going to do that tonight and the next videos for the next 2 weeks here. And this will be technically the second and third day of the 7 days battles. But we figured it was better to do this now on the front end before we go into the full 7 day, 7 turn scenario. And I think this is probably the best way to do this. And for those of you who have played this before, we have some small tweaks. For those of you who were unable to or did not even know about, last week we had a virtual winter offensive. Usually it's held every year in Bowie, Maryland. This year, because of quarantine restrictions, we went completely virtual. This was actually my first chance, and I think it was for you too, Roger, to attend. And I had a great time. And if you've not yet had a chance to peruse, I've actually put together a playlist of all the recorded sessions here on Patrick's Tactics and Tutorials. So just jump over to that when you get a chance, and you'll see everything. We have some designers forums. We have all of the sort of how-to videos from very good players that give some great strategy tips. So there's a lot of great content. And from that, we were able to, I got to pull Joe Balkowski aside and Ed Beach and talk to him in the coffee house. And I told him we were doing this week. And they had mentioned that they are pre-packaging this, or they're tooling it again for publication with the reprint of On to Richmond 2. And from that, they've done some significant playtesting, which is funny because I'm looking at the you can play this right now from on the Great Campaigns resource page on Multiman Publishing. And it even says in there, this has been changed since it was first published in Skirmisher 1. Well, we got a surprise for you. We're going to change it yet again, and we've got another little tweak. Ed mentioned that there were some balance issues. He enjoyed making the scenario, but he said this is the only one he's made that he felt like it was just supremely unbalanced right out of the gate. And so they've made some adjustments to it, and you and I are officially playtesting this tonight, and they want to hear our feedback on it this week and next week. And they're very minor tweaks. There's only 3 small ones, 2 of them to score and 1 of them to a unit on the board. And we'll see if that has a significant impact, especially with you playing the Confederates tonight. I will be playing the defending Union forces under Fitzjohn Porter. So I think what I will do here is I'll read the scenario information to you right from online, and then we'll go through the special rules, and we will jump right into it. So this is, as we mentioned, Gaines Mill. It's a special scenario that was released for On to Richmond. It's designed by Ed Beach, and it is a 2-turn set-piece battle, and it represents the second and third days of the 7 days battle. During those days, in the 7 days, Lee unleashed a daring attack against Fitzjohn Porter's 5th Corps on the Union right. Although repeated rebel assaults finally broke Porter's lines at Gaines Mill, the victory fell short of the opportunity originally presented to Lee when Jackson's Valley Army first appeared on the Union's exposed flank. In this scenario, the Union must hold their position north of the river long enough to allow the orderly change of base to the James. Change of base. I love that. It's always in quotes. Everyone says it with quotes. Ideally, McClellan will not have to divert many of his troops from south of the river, who instead could press towards Richmond against Lee's weakened line south of the Chickahominy. So we are using only the north map tonight, and this is, again, only 2 turns. It's June 26th and 27th of 1862. You can see there's a lot of stuff on the map already preset for us, and many of those are reflected in the special rules. Before I go through those, you've had the week to look at this and make some mental notes. Do you have any observations that you'd like to discuss before we talk about the special rules?
When I looked at this as the Confederate side, I'm interested to hear what the exact score changes are? Because I thought this was difficult for the Confederates. It's interesting when they said balance. Which side did they think was unbalanced? Did they say
They
the
did.
Union or
They
the
thought
Confederate?
they thought significantly that because of the forces available to the Confederates, that it was unbalanced in their favor,
Okay,
and because of the initial
interesting.
layout that we are going to talk about how they changed here, that some units, poor hapless units, were suffering mightily right at the beginning of every game.
Okay,
So so I guess because from what he told me, they did not change the victory point schedule, but only the value of a couple of things.
okay.
So yeah, I'm curious to hear that you well, but I think you look at it with an eye of like, oh my gosh, how do I do this? And we have seen time and again, Roger,
Yeah.
that you are a force to be reckoned with. So, but I just looked at the last 30 minutes or so and just kind of getting an eye on what I would need to do to prevent whatever it is you're going to do. But this one I think has the potential, even for a two turn, to be a very rich maneuver affair because, as we're going to see, there is an element of timing that we've seen before in All Green Alike that I think was probably this was the birth of that or the progenitor of that that eventually went into Stonewall Jackson's Way 2 in All Green Alike. So
Oh, sure. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So
makes
let's
sense.
jump right into it then. So you see the setup here. The only adjustment between what is on the multi-man site and here, as far as setup, is originally in Mechanicsville here at 923 at the front of McCall and Seymour's breastworks was, and it's my term, of course, is the hapless 13th Pennsylvania Regiment. They were a two manpower unit, and apparently what happened more often than not is the Confederates would just come in here and just smack them. So that was earning easy victory points initially. So what they've done to adjust for that is they've rolled them in. They were part of the Fifth Corps anyway, so they've just taken those two-man power and accreted them to Seymour. So he went from a 7 up to a 9 under breastworks, which ostensibly is like doubling. So that's giving 4 more manpower
Hmm.
to Seymour there. So that is the only setup change that we're going to see between what is printed and what we've been told for tonight. Everybody else is the same. And let's go through the special rules here for this. There are no random events for this one, so we don't have to sweat out anything. We've got destroyed bridges on the river where they are supposed to be, and we've got minor bridges for the Union already set up. Now, because of the state of the Chickahominy here, no units, and I'm probably jumping ahead a little bit here, but all fords are impassable. This is special rule number 5. So they're only crossing rivers at along the Chickahominy at one of these bridges. Okay. But we also have the capability at the end of turn 1 to construct our own minor river bridges if a unit is adjacent and has not moved during the recovery phase. They have the opportunity to do that. The additional movement restrictions are the no unit may cross the Pamunkey, and I finally pronounced that right. It's the Pamunkey. Why wouldn't I say Pamunkey? Or the South Anna rivers during the duration of the game. So that means way up here, Jackson and his valley forces are south of the South Anna, and basically that has boxed in everybody. So our playing field here is everything south of the Pamunkey River down to this area. The no unit can enter any hex line, or and I've got these in these black hexes right here. Basically, it's forcing the Confederate and the Union units to do kind of a parabola, a U shape up and around. They have to cross over the Chickahominy historically to attack each other. So Lee and D.H. Hill and Longstreet and A.P. Hill, they have to come across the Chickahominy because they cannot, neither side can enter any of these hexes that start with 12 between the Chickahominy and the James. So that's an artificial barrier, but they're trying to maintain some historicity there. I do have a Union gunboat. I can't imagine that it's going to come into play. It is on the York River. We saw that way back on Johnston's retreat. We saw that they had the York River gunboats there. Now that acts as either a bombardment or a defensive support if any unit happens to be adjacent to the Pamunkey, or the Mattapony up here. Yes. So I can't imagine things are going to get that far affray, but who knows? Or let's see, the York, Pamunkey, and Mattapony rivers, right? The Union has a movement restriction that basically Nagley, who is here under his turn 2 marker, he can never cross the Chickahominy. So his job is to stay south of there, and if anything comes that way, then he can perform his duties in defense, but he cannot cross over to assist any of the stations here north of the line of the Chickahominy. The Confederates have a very specific. This one is, I had to read this about 3 times, so hopefully explaining this to our viewers will help you follow along. Essentially, Longstreet and the 2 hills. So basically, everybody except for Jackson has this restriction. If you follow this line here at the 08s here, which is essentially to the east of the Virginia Central Railroad. The headwaters here of the Totopotomoy come right here to 0818. Those 3 divisions, those 3 corps rather that we talked about, have to stay south of 0819 at any point from column 8 and farther east. They can go in column 7 as far north as they want. They just can't enter into 0818 and north, because that is restricted space for them. So again, that is an artificial kind of forcing them to come historically towards between the Totopotomoy and the Chickahominy to kind of make that flank march around to try to get to these victory point locations. So a lot of words and a lot of text for that, but basically it's just to force them in between this little narrow hallway here. At the start of turn 1, Roger, as the Confederates, will get the first 2 automatic initiatives, so he can do that, but there are some restrictions. Basically, he can't get adjacent to any Union unit, so he can maneuver, he just can't get close. And no unit can cross over the Chickahominy farther than the 5 column here. So basically, Branch can cross over, and Ewell can come down, but nobody east of that is allowed to cross over for those first 2 initiatives. Once you're done with those 2 free ones, we're going to revert to normal initiative rolling, and then those restrictions are lifted for you. And then my favorite one is, and this is what I'm hoping for, usually I'm praying for rain, now I'm praying for nighttime as the defender here. We're going to keep track of Roger's Confederate initiatives. Now the first 2 count because he's going to get those free. As soon as you win 2 more of them, Roger, then dusk has fallen. This is to simulate the late start and the miscommunications and the miscues between all of the units there on the Confederate side. And once you win your 4th one, dusk has fallen and we proceed on as normal. And then as soon as we get a initiative die roll with a tie, which happens quite a lot in our games, as soon as that tie roll occurs, the night has fallen. And again, we can proceed on normally through the turn with the following exceptions. Neither player can initiate assaults, so no assaults at night, no cavalry retreats at night, and no attacking on the march. So basically no aggressive offensive behavior. You can maneuver all you want for as long as you want, but attacking is done after the sun goes down. I'm sure that's going to be a significant impact. You know, I love the timing aspect of these scenarios when they come up like that. And of course, zone of control still functions as per usual at night. They're just not allowed to attack each other. I've got the initial control as the Union. I've got them in blue here of the 3 locations, the victory point locations here around Gaines's Mill, and then the train stations along the Richmond and York Railroad. And of course, the erstwhile 93rd New Yorkers are still up there defending White House Station. So I will start in control of all of those, and you are trying to obviously take those away. I've placed force markers there to indicate what the point values of them are at the end of the game if the Confederates control them. So the big one that you're trying to get to is Watt here in 1524. That's worth 6 points. The rest of them are 3 points around there, and then each of the train stations, with the exception of White House, are 2 points and 3 points respectively. And because this is early, we saw in Seven Pines, our second game, we saw General Johnston carried off by ambulance off the field. So because this is early in Robert E. Lee's career here, he's not going to get that bonus that he would normally get for his assault actions. So when he performs an assault, he will not get the +1 for his assault bonus as he would normally do. And I have the flexibility with Fitzjohn Porter that because he's really the only leader I have on the board, he gets to control any and all units anywhere on the board, regardless of whether or not they're actually part of the 5th Corps. So that is a small boon for me to be able to get some leadership bonus. Because nobody knows where Little Mac is at this point. He's off on a boat somewhere. Let's talk about victory points. We see the victory point marks there. I've placed the location values on there. The only change from what is written on the website between that and now, for balance purposes, is in the past, Slocum and Richardson here, if they crossed over the Chickahominy on turn 1, then that's a penalty, and the Confederate would get some points for that. It's printed 5. It's been reduced down to 3 for turn number 1, so it's not so onerous. I get a couple of points back on that one. If on turn 2 they cross over, it used to be 2 points. Now it's only 1 point. So they went from 5 and 2 down to 3 and 1. And then Peck went from 2 in turn 1 to 1, and 1 in turn 2 to 0. So you can go 1 and 0 as his penalty. They're hoping that small adjustment may factor in, because those are, quote, emergency forces that may, if you get very far around that flank and start threatening those victory point locations, I may need those, and to give up 5 points seemed, I guess, pretty onerous. And then, of course, as per usual here in 1862, +1 and -1 for manpower losses, and we've got some pretty significant forces here. My big hammer is Morrell. He is the single largest. It's a 21 manpower, which is the largest manpower marker you'll see in any of these games. So he's my big boy, and he's not under breastworks, so he's going to have the flexibility to kind of move around and make some decisions for blocking as needed. The victory point threshold tonight has not changed, so what is printed on the website is the same. It is still a marginal victory. Marginal Confederate victory is 18 victory points. So you do have some work ahead of you, and I know you've planned. I just know you have. So
well, it's not a good plan.
it's about 12% of a plan. So hearing all of that, now what are your thoughts? Anything before we get underway? Again, you're going to get the free initiatives, so
just the control is a Confederate infantry passing through. Don't have to.
Right. The last Confederate infantry to touch it will get control.
And then if you come back behind it, and then you have control.
That's right.
I don't know. I think this is interesting. The balance went the other way. I was kind of counting on those points for guys coming across the river,
right.
but
and I have played this a couple times. They used this for a tournament way back when I first played this, and with the bidding, these changes are meant to offset the normal bidding that people would do to play the Confederate side. So this hopefully will bring it a little closer to balance. But again, because of the variability of dusk and night, I have no idea if this is going to be a 20-minute turn 1 or a 2-hour turn 1. So I'm curious to see. But I obviously am not moving Porter anywhere, I don't think. I'm kind of happy where he is, centrally located there. So if you have any leader transfers you'd like to do, you are free to do so, and then we will get underway.
I'll move Lee up the hill, and that's about it. I think I'll leave everybody else where they are.
All right. Well, as always, good luck to you, sir.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. And I will make a mark here of you getting your first free initiative. So off you go.
Okay. I'll activate Jackson's division, all 3. So they're going to go to fatigue. 2 is exhausted, so they're going to have to do extended marches. So here's their movement. 1 die plus 1, and I get a 3. So Yule's going to go first. Here's his extended march. Unmodified die roll. He's okay. So 1, 2, 3. Here's Whitting's die roll. He's okay. 1, 2, 3, and finally Winders. He's okay. 1, 2, 3.
They are tired yet organized, so good for them.
Yes. So I get one more initiative.
One more. So initiative number 2 is yours.
So I'll go ahead and do them again. Here's their movement. 4.
And the only restriction is
Yule.
this one. Yule can't get adjacent to that 4th PA.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's his extended march. He flips. So he's going to get to go 1, 2, 3. Here's Whiting's extended march. He flips as well. It's going to be that kind of night, is it, Dice Roller? Okay.
But in defense of history books, this is very historically accurate.
It is. It is. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Winder, see if he can keep his men together. 3 6s in a row. I will not do that the rest of the night.
You have got to go buy a Powerball ticket tonight.
Okay. That's all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I do initiative roll.
Okay.
I win the initiative.
So this is number 3 for you.
Which means that's, so I got one more initiative to win. Now I can cross the Chickahominy anywhere, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and let's bring AP Hill is going to activate Anderson and Greg. Here's their movement. There we go. 7.
Yeah, they've been staring across that bridge, ready to go.
So let's see. How do I want to try to do this here? Let's do this. He's going to march 1, 2, 3. So I've moved 3. I have 4 left. What would the 4th and 8th Illinois like to do?
Well, interesting. It's just a straight up die roll, and I'm trying to roll really well. Okay, yeah, I will. You force my hand, sir. That's fine. So we'll give them that, and we will flip them over, and we will roll. Here is 1 die. Ooh, okay. So
I lost
3, and they've got to go back.
1 left.
2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll come over there.
Okay. That's not really where I wanted him. Okay, well, it's good. Good
Yeah,
rolling there. You can almost, apparently tonight, we can almost count on 6s. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got 1 left, so I will move there. Beaver Dam Creek. Okay, Greg still has 7 left, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will take 3 to get in there, but he has 3 left, so he's going to join the big stack there. Initiative. It's yours. Okay. And with the 6, you can do as many units as you would like.
As many as I like. So I think Porter will activate Morale and the horse artillery. Here is their roll. Minimum 2. It's a 4. So Porter will transfer to Morale, and they'll go 1, 2, and the horse artillery will go 1, 2. I don't think they have enough to get in there, because it's 21, so they're just going to have to stay right there. Okay. Initiative. It's yours again. So that is number 4. So Dusk has fallen.
Yes. Gonna activate, Stewart's gonna activate Cav and the 4th Virginia. So here's their movement roll. 7. I think he's a divisional, so I think he gets 2.
He does.
So it's 9 in this game. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. And the Virginia is going to go 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Initiative. It's mine again. I'm going to go ahead and activate Stuart and the second cav for an attempt at an assault.
Okay. Got some horsey action
So
here in day 1.
Here's his attempt. It's a 4, so it comes off. So this is Stuart gives his +2 plus the type is +1, so it's +3 assault.
That is what I see.
Let's see if we can drive him out of there. We don't.
It's just DD, right?
I think so. Good job. So he's going to flip. He's going to also lose his last 2 fatigues for the day. Okay, initiative. It's yours.
All right. Yeah, we'll take the opportunity to activate the horse artillery and bring them forward. We'll just do a minimum on theirs. Drop them in there. Initiative. Okay, the sun has gone down. It is nighttime.
Okay, so that means we can move, but no attacks.
No attacks, correct. And you still win the initiative as per usual.
Well, sir, that's just annoying as all get out. Let's activate Hill. DH Hill. We'll activate Rhodes and Garland. So here's his movement. 1 die +1. 7. 6s. Something's wrong with that dice roller. I'm sorry. That's just not right. Okay, so he's going to go Garland. Hill's going to go with Garland. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see this. 5, 6. He's going to stop there. And Rhodes is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. He's going to stop there. Initiative. It's mine again. Okay, I'm going to activate Garland and Rhodes again. DH Hill. Here's their movement. If it's a 6, I'm going to say we need to close the game and start over because this is just wrong. It's a 5, almost a 6. So it's movement of 6. So Hill's going to go 1, 2, 3. Is that right? Rolling train is 3, right?
That's right.
Yep. 3. And 3 again to Hundley's corner. Rhodes is behind him. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, initiative. Mine again. We'll activate Garland and Rhodes again. This is such a very different game. I'm sure I'm not doing this correctly, strategy-wise. Here's their movement. This time it's a 2. I should not have said anything. Sorry, Vassal dice roller. Made you mad.
I'll show you a 6.
Here's Garland's extended march. Here comes the 6. No, okay. So he can go 2. So he's going to go 1, 2 to Shady Grove. Here's Rhodes' extended march.
There's your 6.
He's just going to make a min move to Hundley corner. Okay, initiative. Mine again, okay.
Certainly not hurting for that.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about you actually attacking Richmond, so you're not going to gain any points
that's
for
right. That's right.
you abandoning this line here.
Nope.
I'm going to activate R.H. Anderson and Pickett with Longstreet. Here's their movement. It's a 6. We'll start with Pickett. He's going to go 1. Longstreet's going to follow behind. 2, 3. You don't have a zone of control there. 4 to Mechanicsville. Anderson 1, 2, 3. He has enough to get into there. Okay, initiative. It's yours.
Okay. Porter will activate Sykes. Get them out of the trenches. So here's their movement. Minimum 2. Oof. Yikes. Okay.
Min 2.
We'll go into Gaines's Mill. Initiative. It's yours again.
I think I've been misplaying this rather badly at this point. Yeah, I think this is, boy, I don't know what I'm doing. Garland. DHO, Garland. What? Just Garland. Here's his movement. This may be the dumbest thing I do all night. It's minute 2. Or 2, not a min, but just 2. And here's his extended march.
Oh.
He's going to flip. I should have probably done a forced march the last time when he didn't flip.
That's right.
Got him on the road, and then maybe he could have done something more exciting than what he's going to do right now, which is what? You know what? I think I need to change my tactics a little bit. I'm just going to go to Bethesda Church and to here. Because it's going to give me those 2 socks. I think I like that. Keeps me closer to Cold Harbor. Okay, initiative. Fine with a tie. I still have branch, so let's bring up branch. There's his movement. It's a 3. 1, 2, 3. Initiative. It's mine. Do branch again. Here's his movement. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put him there. Okay, initiative. Shorth.
Okay. Porter will activate Sykes to 2. Here is their march. Man, got the slows.
Now it's averaging out, I guess.
Yeah.
All 6s at the beginning.
I guess what they'll do is Porter will stay where he is, and they'll just go 1, 2 to Old Cold Harbor. Initiative. It's mine. I will activate Stoneman. He will go to 1. Here's his march to 2. So he's going to go 1, 2. Initiative. It's yours.
Yeah, I better do some defensive maneuvering here. So I'll activate Rhodes by himself because I don't have a connection to him. Not that he's going to go very far. Here's his movement. We'll see how far he gets to go. It's 3. Well, he's just going to go 1 hex. So here's his extended march. It's a 4. He does not lose a manpower. He's just going to march up the road and tie Stoneman down. Initiative. It's mine again. Well, we'll try the 2nd Virginia. Way in the side here. Let's see if we can get him into the battle. It's 11.
He's ready to be part of the battle.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I need to do extended march on him because he's also exhausted. He's okay. Initiative. It's mine. Well, Hill's going to activate AP Hill, that is. It's going to activate Greg and Anderson. Here's their movement. It's a 4. I'm just going to do the min move to Hundley's corner. That's where I wanted Stonewall to be. Initiative. It's mine. I got to push Jackson to 4. I got to get him closer. This is kind of what I foresaw when I was looking at this. I'm not going to get where I need to be. Here's their movement. Now he gets a 6 for movement. Here's Yule's extended march. It's a 5 plus, so he's going to be a 14. I think that's +1 for 6.
Well, it's a +3, so it's an 8.
That's a +3, so it's an 8, and he's a 14. That means 3 manpower losses. So he loses 3 manpower, but he can go 7. So it's going to be 1, 2. Let's put him at Pole Church. That's going to be 3, 4, and 5. So here's Whiting's extended march. He does not. So That's gonna be 1, 2, 3. Yule is now down to a 7. He has 4 remaining, and he can actually join Yule because Yule has done terrible marching. And finally, Winder is going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I need to do an extended march on him. He does not flip. He has only 3 left, so he cannot get in there, or he is stopped right there. Extended or initiative. It's yours.
Okay. We'll activate Stoneman. Here's their march. It's 3, 1, 2. I think he'll stop right there. Okay, initiative. It's mine again. I will.
I think you're going to need those reinforcements. I would bring all of them across the river. Because that might be the only points I get tonight.
I think we will activate. Porter will activate Morel and the horse artillery. And here's their movement of 4. Horse artillery will go first. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Porter will go the same to there. Initiative. Oh, and I needed an extended march on the horse artillery. So here's that. +1. He's okay. All right. Initiative. It's yours.
Activate branch with AP Hill. Here's his movement. It's a 3. +1 is 4. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. Initiative. It's mine. Activate Longstreet, Anderson, and Pickett. Here's their movement. It's a 3. He's just going to make a min move to there. 1, 2, 3. Initiative. It's mine. I'm going to pass.
Looking over the board state. I believe I will pass as well.
Yep, why not?
All right. Okay. So we are recovering in sunshine. And we will move our turn marker to turn 2. Final turn. I do not have a leader transfer. Over to you for leader transfers.
Okay. No, I don't think I have any. No, I think I'll leave everybody where they are.
All right. I will give us the first initiative. Turn 2. Here we go. It is yours, sir.
Okay. What do we want to do with the first initiative? Well, DH Hill will activate Garland and Rhodes, so they'll go to Fatigue 2. Here's their movement. It's a 5. Rhodes will do that for 1. Hill will make 1 to there. He'll use his last 4 movement to do a prepared attack on Stoneman. Oh, I gotta do extended marches on both these guys. Let's do that. Well, move Rhodes first, so Rhodes will be first extended march. He's okay, and Garland's extended march, and he will lose a manpower. At least I'm not giving you victory points when I do that. Oh, he didn't drop down in ratio. So the ratio here is 2 to 1, so the ratio is +1. The type is +1. The tactical is, I have Hill against Stoneman is a +3. It's a +1 on rolling terrain, is a -1 for artillery. And the final flank, I have a +2 flank.
Right.
And so the final that I have, 7 up and 1 down for a final of +6.
Sounds good.
Okay, +6.
Ooh,
And,
brutal.
Ooh, there we go.
So +9. I have 3. So that is 2 DR to your advance. It will give you 2 manpower losses for me. And they must go away. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go just 5 to there. See if we can get some protection from those creeks all the way around. Alright, you may advance if you wish.
I'm going to leave them where they are. And here's the initiative. It's mine again, same die roll. We'll attempt an assault with Stewart. Both units, 4th and the Cav. Here's the attempt. Comes off. So there is no ratio. The type is a +1. Tactical is a +2. Artillery is nothing. I have all 6 hexes covered, but since you're all Cav, that I believe gets reduced down to a +2. So the flank is a +2. +5, nothing coming off.
All right.
Time to +5. And it's a +6 result.
And on 2, it's a 1 DR.
Yeah.
So get another victory point. I will take that from. I will eliminate the 6 Pennsylvania.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Take it. That's right.
And you have a nice retreat.
Yeah,
there.
I do.
At least you're
so flip,
going in the opposite direction. So
flip over, increase demoralized, and yeah, they're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Get away from all that mess.
I will advance into that hex because that was all it was, wasn't it? A. So we'll take Polly Hunley's corner. That was objective for day 1. Okay, initiative. It's mine again. Okay, now we'll activate DH Hill, Garland and Rhodes again. Here's their movement. It's a 6. We're going to move Rhodes first. Here's his extended march. It's a 6, 7. And it's the manpower. Well, guess what?
Is it the same?
7 with 11 manpower. Still 2 manpower.
Oh, okay.
Loss.
Carry on.
Dang it. Golly, gee. This is not going to be one for the time capsule, I don't think. Okay, he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 1 left. We're going to declare a hasty attack against Stoneman.
Sure, why wouldn't you?
So that's going to be 6 to a half plus
11?
11 tactical. That's 1. So 12 minus 1 because it's a hasty, which makes it a plus 11.
I hope you do okay.
I shouldn't lose any more manpower.
That's right.
It's a plus 11 result.
So they evaporate. And we will give you another manpower. There you go.
Okay, so let's see. Do I want him in that hex or do I want to leave him where he is? You know what? I will move him into that hex.
All right.
Okay, so now Hill has 6 to go, and he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He got to Prospect Church. Initiative. It's yours.
All right. We've got some work to do here. I got to look at my priorities here. We got hordes pressing down on us here. I think Porter will activate Richardson. Here we go. Minimum 2. That's 2. Man. We'll just take them 1, 2 to start. Initiative. I knew it. Initiative is yours.
We're going to activate Jackson. Is going to activate Whiting and Ewell. Movement is a 7. There we go. Ewell first. Jackson's going to travel with him. So here's his extended march. It's a 5. There's no mod to that because he went from 1 to 2.
Right, he's okay.
So he's going to go 7 hexes. So he's going to go 1. Jackson's going to travel with Ewell. 2, 3, 4. What would the 8th and 4th Pennsylvania Cav like to do?
You've got
I have 3 left.
Okay. In the face of the vaunted Stonewall whispers down the horse line. They will retreat. So I don't think I have anything in between us now. So here's their roll. It's a 3, so you just lose 1.
So I have 2 left. He's gonna stop. So now Whiting has 7. He's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, initiative. It's mine again. DH Hill is going to activate Garland and Rhodes. Here's their movement. It's a 6. Okay, that changes what I was going to do. Here is Garland's extended march. So that's a 6. This time it is a +3.
Yeah.
So that's and his manpower is a 10.
So yeah, 9 on 10.
3.
Marching them to death.
3 man. Well, yeah, but this is not giving you victory points, at least. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab Tunstall Station. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Here's Rhodes' extended march. It's a 3 plus 3 is a 6, so he's going to lose 1 manpower. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. He has enough to get to Summit Station.
He does indeed.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's not what I was intending for those 2 guys to do.
Right. But it presented itself.
I'll take it.
Right.
Because that gets me potentially, what,
That's
4 points?
Right? So you're up to 8 now.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe simplifies the problem a little bit. Initiative or not. Ties go to me. Okay, so now what do I want to try to do? Sykes is an 11. We're going to activate AP Hill with Greg and Anderson. Here's their movement. Okay, that's a 3. They're going to do a min move there. Okay, initiative. It's mine again. I'm going to play this very dumb, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that was a foolish move. So I'm going to go ahead and activate, AP Hill is going to activate Greg, Anderson, and Branch. So here's their movement. Yeah, paying for it. We'll do 1, 2. 1, 2. Initiative. Mine. I mucked this up so bad, I don't even like to think about what I've done here. I think I've screwed this up so badly. I think my only, with fatigues, I still have Longstreet. Pickett, Anderson. Okay, I'm going to activate Stewart with all 3 of his cav units. Here's their movement. Is a 9. Here's the extended march for the cav unit. It's a 3, so he's okay. Got 9, I have 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's initiative. It's yours.
So I don't think we need to worry about that flank at the moment. Porter will activate Seymour. I am loath to move him, but... And here's the march. It's a 5. He will go 1 to there and put a flanks refused marker out. Initiative. It's yours.
Okay. Well, let's see. You have 11. So if I get 3 in there, that gets my 25% covered. So we're going to take the 2nd Virginia, T2. Here's their movement. It's a 10. And here's his extended march. 4, just a straight 4. So he's okay. So he's going to join the other calves. He goes there. Initiative. It's mine. Okay. General Jackson is going to activate. Yeah, I'm going to try to activate them both. Burning up more fatigues. So here's the assault roll. It's a 2, so it comes off. So I have a type of +1. The flank, I do have enough cav units there. It gets me to 3 to 11 is just enough to cover the flank for a +2. Tactical I have. Type I have. Artillery is a die roll, which is a odd is even. We use it -1. Odd is we do not. So arty is a 0. So I think there is. Is there? I forgot to check for terrain. Okay, there is no creek. So the final is 5 up and no down.
That's what I see.
+5. So here we go. +5 result.
Okay. That's probably going to be an
11
exchange. That's 2
2DR.
And you have, yeah, okay, just 2 for me. All right. And they will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, and I will give you 2 more victory points in manpower losses. Good job.
I'll move into Old Cold Harbor. Which is, if I can hold it, that's going to be worth what? 3, 2,
Yep.
3. Okay, initiative. It's mine. I hadn't screwed up AP Hill so badly, I'd be in much better shape. Morale comes pouring in on me. But let's activate AP Hill. We're just going to activate Greg. Here's his movement. Here's a 4. Here's his extended march. Just a die roll. It's a 1. So he can go 1, 2. So he does not have enough to get into the rough terrain. So I'm going to leave him where he is. Initiative. It's yours. That's right.
Richardson marches, gets a 2. He will force march now. So he's going to flip. And here's his force march roll. Well, gets 5 more, but he loses 2 manpower in the march. So that's there. So he gets a total of 7. I need to defend that, but I also want to bounce you out. So yeah, he'll just go 1, 2, 3. And guard Watt. Alright, initiative. It is yours again. But I'm going to give you a victory point for moving him across the river in turn 2. So,
oh, right. I forgot about that part.
Yeah. So you earn 1 for nothing.
Okay. Let's see if I can drive him out of there.
Ooh, we're pressing our luck. Come on, no whammies.
We are. Jackson is going to take Whiting and Ewell to fatigue 4.
You always manage to pull it like a rabbit out of a hat.
So here's the combat roll. 2, so
Right.
it comes off. So I think this is going to be +3, but I think you get to roll for artillery.
Yeah, I think I'll roll for my artillery today. Here we go.
Okay, yeah. Your vendor probably should be rolling. I think we just got into the habit.
Yeah, I don't think it matters, but here we go. On even, we use it. We do! Hooray! I finally get to use some of this powder I've been storing up for months.
So it's a +2, +1 for type, and -1, so a +2 result, final?
+2, yeah.
+2 final.
Man,
wow.
Jackson is on fire today. So
he is.
+5 bounces me out. You're certainly earning this one. You're late. So I'm an 11 and a +5, so another 2 DR, and I think that may put you over the top here. So 2 more manpower losses. You're going to take Watt, and I'm going to go demoralized, and 2 more.
Let's result on me.
And
13.
let's see. So
No losses,
1,
no manpower
2,
losses.
3, 4, 5, and I'll just stop there. Took that back. So yeah, and we will let you advance into their
Initiative. It's yours.
Okay, so you're sitting on 13, 14, and 8. You're at 22 victory points right now with all of your winnings. So I need to get 5 of them back somehow. That is a tricky proposition. So yeah, Porter will activate Morel, the Horse Artillery, and Seymour. Here is their movement. It's 5. Horse Artillery will just move into there. Seymour will go there. Porter now. I think he'll just move in as well. Okay. Initiative. It's yours.
Okay, I'm gonna try something stupid. AP Hill is gonna activate Greg.
I love to hear you talk it all out and then go, I'm going to try it. It's stupid, but I'm going to try it.
He's gonna go. So here's Greg's movement. Well, that ends the stupid part. Try what I was gonna do then. Well, I can roll for the extended march. Oh, it's definitely not gonna happen now. Well, let's see. 8 to what? 23. Still 8 to 23.
So, yeah, essentially 8 to 24, so 1 to 3. It's a negative 2.
1 to 3. Negative 2.
Now you're saying there's a chance.
Hill goes down there. Yeah, I'm going to transfer Hill to Greg. I want to see if I can fatigue Morel out. That would make it really hard for you to do much of anything.
It would. It absolutely would.
So we're going to attempt it. So as I see it, I have 8 to 23, which makes it a -2. There's another minus because you have more than enough artillery to get a -1. So that's a -3. I get a +1 for tactical, which makes this a -2 attack. -2. Here we go. Ugh. That's a -5. Dang. That was probably stupid. All right. Because I just gave you some points. I'm a 2D. And I didn't do anything to you. Didn't even dent your armor.
My beloved
Okay.
5th Corps.
Initiative. It's yours. Here we go.
Oh, you say that like there's some certainty. I have to bring Peck up, so we will get him going. Delete his entrenchment, and here's his movement. 3, so he'll go 1, 2, 3. Initiative. Mine again. Peck again. Here's his movement. 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Initiative. It's yours.
Stewart's going to activate the 2nd 4th Virginia Cav. Here's his movement. 4. Here's his extended march roll. It's a 1, so he's okay. He's just going to do a min move to there. Initiative. It's mine. So yeah, I will activate the 2nd Virginia. Here's their movement. It's a 6. Well, here's their extended march. 4. So he's okay. So he's going to do the same thing. Leave Stewart back there, out of the line of fire.
Now I will still get a minimum of a +1, even with
Yeah.
So,
What is Boatswain? Oh, Boatswain Swamp is unpenetrable.
right. So it counts 4 and then counts against, right?
We played this first time the swamp is really
Yeah, I know, right?
come into play. It's your initiative.
Okay. All right. I think Peck will activate to march. Go to fatigue level 3. Here's their movement. It's a 1. What would the second Virginia like to do? Oh, and you and I have addressed this before. It's not even a matter of. I mean, I went through the order before I taught my intro class again. I have to do the movement, and then I immediately have to do the extended march before you make a decision on your cavalry retreat. So you do get to see whether or not I flip before
Okay.
that even happens. So here's my extended march. It is a +1, and he is going to flip. So now you have the option to decide whether the second Virginia wishes to move away.
Yeah, I'll cav retreat. I don't see any point in giving you a point. So here's the cav retreat roll. And he's dead anyway. So why didn't
I took the gamble and got a point, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Good for you.
all right.
Nope, not disorganized. I need to get rid of you completely. That's down there in the delete category. Right. So I gave you that manpower back.
All right, and Peck will just stay right there. And here's the next initiative. It's yours.
Okay, well, let's not do that again. So maybe let's get some of these guys out of the way. AP Hill is going to activate J.R. Anderson. So here's his movement, and Hill is going to transfer to Anderson. 2. He's just going to go there. 1, 2. Initiative. It's mine again. AP Hill is going to activate Branch. And I did not roll extended march on Anderson. I apologize. Extended march for Anderson. He's okay. AP Hill is going to activate Branch. Here's his movement. It's a 4. Here's his extended march. It's a 6. So he has to flip. AP Hill is going to stay where he is. Then move to there. Initiative. It's mine. We're going to attempt an assault with Anderson on Seymour. Here's the attempt. 1, so it comes off. So this is 17-9, so there is no ratio. The type is a +1. Tactical with Hill is a +3. We have a +1 artillery on rough terrain is a die roll for you if you'd like to do your artillery die roll.
Sure. Here it is. It is used.
It is used, so I guess you maybe that's the key.
Maybe that is the secret.
-1. And the flank is a +2.
And one of them's going to come off because of 1323.
Because of the hex to hex. Yep. So final's a +1. So I've got 4, 5 up and 1 down for a +4 final.
Okay.
+4 final.
Oof. Another 6. Man.
So 6 result. So I got some of those manpower back.
Another 2 DR for me. Giving you the 2 VP, so you are now at 10, or USA 10 manpower losses to your 3. So that's good. And they will go 1, 2, 3, 4.
They will advance into the hex.
Okay.
Initiative. It's yours.
Right. Well, there's no sense in keeping McCall there as a rear guard anymore, so he will increase his fatigue and delete his entrenchments. And here is his march. That's a 4, so he's just going to go 4 to there. Initiative, it's yours.
AP Hill will activate Branch. Here's his movement. It's a 4. Hill will transfer to Branch.
Would you like to take Lee with you?
Here's his extended march. Yeah, he'll take Lee with him, and of course he's going to lose. It's a 6. +2.
+1.
+1. Okay. And he is a 7 manpower, so he's going to lose 1 manpower. And Lee will go with him. Is it better to block McCall? that swamp hex just to, was it 1124? That there is a Zoc there if I moved into Walnut Grove.
Yes, there is, right.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's slow him down. He still has Slocum to come across the river. Initiative. Yours.
Okay. Take this in steps. Morel will march. And here's his movement. It's a 2. What would the 4th Virginia like to do?
They're going to get out of there. So here's their cav retreat. See if I give you another victory point. I don't. It's a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle. I don't think that takes many away from you because it's one manpower.
Yeah,
no,
it's
small force.
Right. Yeah, I think you're
So it's gonna be -2. So it's 3. I'll take 1 movement point away from you. I think. So he's gonna flip. I don't think you're gonna move anyway, but increase fatigue. He's done for the day. Disorganized. And he's just going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Put him back at Lenny.
Okay.
You're gonna take that hex?
Yeah.
Your move?
Yeah, I know. No, we're gonna stay right there.
Okay.
Yeah, initiative. Okay, it's yours.
Can activate Winder by himself. Here's his movement. 6. Here's his extended march. He's okay. 1, 2. Five. He can't get in there. Initiative. It's mine. I'll activate Winder again. Here's his movement. Jackson does not get to him, so it's just him. It's a 2. Here's his extended march. 4 + 1, so he's okay. So he's just going to go right in with Greg. Initiative. It's yours.
Okay. Well, I might as well, if this is going to go south, I might as well do it now. So Morel is going to increase his fatigue to 3. Porter will attempt an assault on Jackson. So here is the attempt. It's going to go off. Alright, so running my own numbers now. I got +1 assault, -1 for tactical. I did not declare to bring in the extra artillery, so that's on me. Go ahead and do a die roll for artillery. It is not used. A +2 for final flank, I believe. 13, so there's no ratio. So I see 3 up, 2 down. One for a +1.
The flank. You're taking off the swamp, and then 1525 because Peak doesn't have. It's a restricted Zoc because of the woods there.
That's exactly right.
And the hex.
Yeah, I don't have a road between 1525 and 1624, so it covers it initially, and then it's uncovered as the final
covered.
Flank. Yeah. So
yeah.
plus,
so it's
+2 for final flank. So yeah, I see +1 net.
+1 final. Yes.
So here goes. Union on the left, and yeah, no dice. Dice hate me, as you, the viewer, know. So I think that's probably going to put it out of my reach. -2 on 21 is going to give you 3 more D. So I think, because I could potentially bring Slocum up to bounce him out, but that's, as we've seen, that's going to cause more heartache and strife. So I think we're going to just call that what it is. Unless you agree or disagree, I'm certainly keen to hear your thoughts on it. I mean, that was the linchpin. I needed to get the 12-point swing there, getting the 6 out.
Yeah.
And just made it worse by half.
I mean, I guess you could bring Slocum if he came up across the bridge there to Parker's. Was that Parker Mill?
I could try that. I've just, you know how literally gun shy I am, because all it takes is one bad attack at these numbers, and it's just, giving you 3
So
manpower.
even if you got me out of there at this
Yeah,
point,
so
would it
let's
make a
look at the
difference?
numbers right now. So presuming we know you've got the 2 stations, so you got 2, 4, and then 9 more for where you are. So that's 13 points. You're ahead of me by 10 on manpower losses, so that's 23, and you get the victory point for me bringing one of the guys over, Richardson, over early. So so that's 24 points, and I can't win it with 6 by just taking Watt back. I've got to take Watt and Old Cold Harbor. And you're knocking on the door with Winder there to put him in place. So I'd have to get Slocum across the river, have a dazzling attack, and as we saw, even with a full flank, that was, I got a +1 out of that, because going against Jackson on the defense, I got lucky with the artillery, but I stupidly did not call for the horse artillery to be included. So I don't know. I don't have a great feeling about it. I think I'm just going to shovel more points to you at this point.
I think that's probably going to happen, but you could get a 6-1 split and pile on.
You know how I love to live my
You never
life by
know.
the 6-1 split. I hate
I mean, I'll
I
leave that
hate
up to you, obviously.
I like winning. Like, who doesn't like winning with a 6-1 split? But I don't want to try to count on that. And I would rather, have an honorable loss here, where it's like, oh, I made a shot and didn't get it, versus desperation attacks. And I do not like doing desperation attacks. Um,
I guess the other question, I guess driving, yeah, even if you could come down the railroad, yeah, you need to get me out of Watt. That's obviously
why?
the
Yeah.
key. And
Why? I mean, and Winder got really lucky with that 6 there to put him into position to take
yes,
Old Cold Harbor. So for the moment, I didn't have to worry about that. And when you offered, you're like, "Do you want to take it?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to take it. I don't want to give up my nice big juicy flank here." But had I done that, Bosun Swamp still would have counted as covered, and I didn't need Porter in that spot anyway to do it. So, in hindsight, probably should have taken Old Cold Harbor once they cav retreated, and then just, occupied that, and then tried to push Jackson through Parker Mill and out. Um,
mm.
but yeah, that's for a thinking man playing a chess game here. That's not for me.
Well, I got some lucky movement rolls because that first day, I really am getting the hill into those 2 stations was totally accidental.
But I also, that was offset by that I got lucky with a fairly early dusk roll. So I think if we're making this official here, I'm going to call this a 24 point for the CSA, which is a substantive CSA victory by the current point schedule. And I think just, Jackson making that, I when you did that, I went, wow, Jackson is doing what he does. But I was like, that's
Yeah.
an overreach. He's going to fatigue level 4 and he's going to make it. And then you got it. And I went with a demoralized, no less. So you got 6 points plus, I think 2 DR on that. So that was an 8 point grab for one last attack. And that's why I like playing with you, sir, because you take the gambles and they usually pay off pretty well.
Well, at that point, I had messed up again. From a gaming perspective. I think if people watch this, they go, "What's he doing? What's he doing? That's dumb. What's he do that?" And that made the game. That helped me. I mean, obviously that made the difference. But if that would have been over, I think if I'd lost that, I said, I don't think I can win because I had created such a traffic jam on the road.
Yeah,
I clearly didn't.
well, when AP Hill made his attack, his repulse against Porter, and nothing didn't scratch me. Didn't even, mar the armor, as you said. And I got what, 2 or 3 manpower back. I was feeling pretty good. I was like, okay, that was probably not a good attack. And then you followed it up with going after Seymour, out there on in open ground, and that brought it back a couple. So it seems like you're very good about offsetting any what you call silly or stupid mistakes in maneuver or attacks. You always manage to pull it back, and that's really impressive to see, because You're like, damn the torpedoes, and other
Well, that
military sayings.
I I kind of the attack was bad. I just thought the positive of stopping Morel in his tracks right there was just so
It
attractive.
was, and it's certainly spoiling attacks are great in the toolkit, and we haven't talked about that in a while, just because in this particular module, you're often going against brick walls, especially when the Union piles up. But that's always very attractive for the Confederate player is to make uh, a 1 to 2 attack. David versus Goliath. If at worst case you're going to get maybe 1 or 2, but on best case, you're going to give them a D and you're going to shut them down for the whole day. And if you had shut down Porter at that moment, we would have been done 10 minutes early because I said, well, I'm certainly not going to try to oust Jackson with Peck, right? I'd have to get Slocum into place and put Porter on him and launch an assault and have all
Yeah,
these
yeah,
circumstances.
that's kind of what I was seeing the possibility, and still have the chance of getting some guys over there.
Right.
It just, but anyway, yeah, this turned out better than I just had a couple really good lucky rolls, movement with Hill, DH Hill, and the attack with Jackson, which
But at the same,
I do
yeah,
trust.
yeah,
I do trust Jackson a lot on the attack for no reason. It's just a counter with a number on it
right.
and a picture.
Well, I think you used him as he is meant to be used in the way Ed designed the scenario. As he came in from the valley, and yes, you took some lumps on the first day. He got horrible rolls. He took a lot of extended march damage, but on day 2, it's like Jackson comes alive, and he
Yeah,
zipped around that Union right flank, got into place, made 2 successful back-to-back attacks into Old Cold Harbor and a Watt, and yeah, I mean it just could not have gone any better for him as what he does. And so I
yeah.
think he used him as effectively as he needed to be used for this scenario. And yet it
And,
did
and,
feel like this was. I think the tweaks worked. I didn't feel like I was ever out of it. It's just you offset
yeah,
all of that from day 1 with day 2 going pretty darn good. Yeah.
and one of the things that, as you as a teacher, you've really weaned me away from worrying about disorganization on marching. It's like, okay, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're gonna flip. They're gonna lose manpower. At the end of the day, when you're doing an attack, you're probably not. I don't think I've really lost anything. Maybe a pip or two
Right.
along the way,
Right.
but that's about it.
Well,
It's not like,
the gamers that go to the tournaments and play, for example, Richardson. He came across the river, and I force marched him to do that because I needed to. I couldn't waste any more time. I needed to get him up there. But he went from he was an 18, I think, or a 16, whatever he was, and then he flipped over to the weaker side, which is absolutely fine because he covered what Jackson was at the time. I think they were both 13 or something. So
yeah,
so it did, yeah, for the sake of the combat chart, that's just fine. Because anything more than that, now you're 2 columns up, and you're gonna take damage no matter what. So yeah, it's a little gamey, but it's why Dave Cross said you gotta look at the combat chart and just kind of figure out what is the point where you squeak. What can I do
mm-hmm.
without squeaking? So
and and again, one of the things I like about the game in terms of the the larger picture, the campaign series, is it does reinforce history, which is these guys did the winning side invariably march their guys to death.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
You know,
when you rolled that 6 for Hill or whatever it was, a 5, and he got the 6, and I sat there and I counted the hexes, and both of them could grab a station. I was like, DHL. He just did a flank march.
well, I kind of put him out there trying to do the roads to bring them around
Yeah.
to come in the rear here of Cold Harbor. And I was like, wow, they can get down there. It's like, well, that's 4 points. I better get them because maybe all I get. So
So if
a good game, a good scenario, better than
oh
it
yeah,
was. I can see this being a good, like our tournament at the Great Campaigns, good short scenario. It plays fairly quickly because it's a very narrow, tight.
right.
area, but still lots of
And,
maneuver.
and and I don't think you're doing anything that's ahistorical. You're going around the flanks. I was just thinking about, for people who ever play you in the future, uh, if you've heard of the concept of the swear jar. Now we don't need a swear jar for that purpose, but I do want to have a jar for every time I go. He's setting up that flank with Stewart. I don't need to worry about that at the moment. And then I lose the initiative, and then you make the most of it. I'm like, put a nickel in the swear, into the jar. Because I underestimated what you were going to do to set something up on that next initiative. And I do that a lot with you now just because you're very patient about. I was like, I don't need to worry about DHL. He's only got one fatigue left, and he's out in the open. And sure enough, you roll a 5, and you get the 6. And now I've lost 2 stations that I absolutely couldn't cover. I mean, I had nobody out there that could block them. So that was great. You just every time I underestimate what you could potentially do, you get a nice fat die roll, and there it is. It's open.
Well, again, I'll go kudos to my teacher. You really taught me, and when we were doing the Stonewall Jackson's Way scenarios, you did that to me repeatedly.
Sure, sure.
All of a sudden, you were running around my flank, and I'm going. I still remember. Was it McDowell's?
Opportunity.
No, the retreat.
Oh, the retreat to Washington.
The
Yeah,
retreat.
going all the way up
When
to
you ran all the
Fairbanks.
way
Yeah,
back and took like the highest victory point. It's like I couldn't even figure out where you were going
right.
until you got. I was like, oh.
Yeah, Roger. I remember when I
Oh,
used to be sneaky. Now I just
well, you still are. I just now I'm looking for it.
right,
I'm looking. Okay, what are you trying to do?
right.
And because but yeah,
Well, I think you and I can both put a nice big stamp of approval so far on the first playthrough. I will certainly know better once I have my chops with the Confederates next week. But so far, it seems like the tweaks did make a
yeah,
difference. I mean, they brought it in nice and close.
yeah,
Yep. So.
fun.
Well, if you've enjoyed this tonight, of course, as we do each and every week, we encourage you to click that like button, because how do we know that you like it if you don't click the button, right? But more importantly, we love to hear your feedback, and if you can subscribe to, that's awesome. That tells us that we have an attentive audience. But more than anything, I am just overjoyed by the amount of regular viewers that we get who comment and give us feedback, either from a strategic standpoint, or comments about things that we missed, or just, man, that series of dice rolls, boy, I feel your pain. I love the sympathy ones, because that makes me feel better.
Yeah, those nice.
But thank you to all of our loyal viewers, and yeah, tell your friends about it. If you know a wargamer friend, we got plenty of different videos online here, and I always want to point people back to the full playlists, because those make your life a little easier. So if you put those into your YouTube subscription as well, then into your library, it makes things easier if you're trying to go through like the chronological one that we're doing here, or if you want to see all the winter offensive presentations, those are in there as well.
Yeah, definitely. If you're a Great Campaigns fan, watch the seminars because I thought they were all excellent. And if you're not a fan of like commands and colors, watch the videos because Patrick's playing partner,
Peter, yes.
the historical setup. I that's a period of history I'm not familiar, and I now want to go read some books. And
I am finding that my love for ancients is growing more all the time as well because of that.
It's wonderful history lessons, and definitely that, and everything. And you also do the tricorn.
The tricorn, yeah, we're doing the
tricorn ones. You guys kind of do the same thing, and it's like I know a little bit more about the American Revolution, but still, it's great.
Yeah, and we have a professional Revolutionary War kind of historian in Rob who does that. So I mean,
oh really?
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah. Well, I mean that's his job and his background. So I don't have to do anything. I'm like, Rob, tell me a Revolutionary War story.
Yeah, I mean, both your presentations are so fantastic. In those.
Thank you, I appreciate
that. But yeah, people, please definitely subscribe and comment.
Yes, yes, and I will take a turn behind the wheel next week with Lee and his buddies, and we'll see if I can repeat on your successes tonight. So thank you for a great game, and thank you to everybody for watching, and we will see you here next week. Have a good one.
You too, then.
All right,
Thanks.
sure. Bye.